Hey folks, Randy here with Dulin Cut Trim. So, I'm in the process of getting licensed with the state of Maryland to do fertilization. I know most guys in my area fertilize things and they're not licensed to do so, and it doesn't matter, and they don't care, and they never get in trouble. But I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I do anything wrong, I'm definitely getting caught. So, so I'm going through the process of getting licensed, and it's it's not the easiest thing to figure out as far as how to do it. I mean, it took me about an hour to figure it out, I think. It's like a $100 class, a $50 license fee or something to the effect, and you take a test and then you get licensed. So, but I've been trying to get some clarification on some things, and so I've been calling Maryland's Department of Agriculture and the specific office that handles these licensing things. And no one answers the phone ever. Now, I worked for a government agency for 9 years, so I'm not really mad at them for not answering the phone. For me, I was very overworked when I worked for the government, and it was just about impossible to get to the phone regularly. So I'm not really mad at them about that. What does frustrate me, though, is I'm leaving voicemails and they're not being responded to. That frustrates me. It's a small customer service thing. And I was thinking about it today, and it's always kind of, it doesn't anymore, but it used to baffle me. Why was the customer service with a government agency, why is it almost universally bad? It's very rare that you have a good customer service experience with a government agency. And it's like, why? What's so hard about that? And I've been thinking about it recently because, customer service is a big part of how I handle my business. I invest the most there. And it occurred to me. Think about it. In your business, what would happen if potential customers called you and you didn't answer the phone? If potential customers emailed you and you didn't respond to the emails? If potential customers contacted you through your website and you didn't respond, what would happen? You wouldn't get those customers. Not only would you not get those customers, you wouldn't get paid any money, because you only get paid for the work you do. And the only way you can get work is by responding to your customers reaching out to you. It's the only way. When you work for the government, it doesn't work that way. If you work for the government, you get paid whether 1 million people call or no one calls. You get paid if you answer the phone or if you don't answer the phone. Nothing about your performance affects your ability to get paid, because you're a government agency. You're getting paid regardless. If you do a good job, you get paid. If you do a bad job, you get paid the same amount. It does not matter. But when you're working for yourself, you have a big incentive to treat your customers well and to respond to them as quickly as possible, because the more customers you respond to and the better your customer service is, the more business you get, the more money you make. But when you work for the government, it doesn't work that way. If your customer service skills are poor, guess what? Maryland Department of Agriculture is the only place I can get licensed to do fertilization. It's the only place. So even though the customer service with them is driving me up the wall, it doesn't matter, because I can't take my business somewhere else. If you're a crappy, oh Lord, oh gosh, my phone fell. Oh, got it. If your customer service is garbage and you provide a poor service and you're rude to your customers when they call, they can cancel you and they can just go to somebody else that'll treat them better. Very simple. But if a government employee is rude or condescending or just doesn't respond to you, you have no choice but to work with them anyway. There's no incentive for them, there's no financial incentive for them to do a good job. The amount of money they get paid, whether they put no effort, some effort, or a lot of effort, that number stays the same. And there's not a big incentive to do a good job either. I can tell you that from working for the government, because for the most part, if you want to move up in the government, you just got to be there for a long time. That's the best way to move up in a government agency, is just be there. You know, it doesn't take a lot of effort. I mean, believe me, I worked for the government for 9 years, man. There are some good people working there, definitely. I don't want to, give that impression. But there's a lot of folks that are working there because they couldn't work anywhere else. And, the government, it's almost impossible to fire you, But I think that's why. Customer service at government agencies is pretty much always bad, because there's zero incentive for it to be good. There is no, I emphasize customer service and kindness and not being nice and pleasant, and I emphasize that in my business, and I have a lot of customers that stick with me, because of that. They've told me that's why they work with me, because I'm so nice and so friendly, and they're so comfortable around me. They don't mind if their kids are around. They don't mind if their wife or whatever. They're comfortable. They like me. I've taken time to invest in that and work on that. And it's made me more money. And when I worked for the government, all that extra effort, because I did try and put in good effort, but all that extra effort was meaningless financially. Me doing a good job at no point made me more money. It never did. No matter how good or bad a job I did, my check was always the same. And for some people, there's no incentive to do better. There's no incentive to do more. And that's ultimately, that's why. People like to think that they're intrinsically motivated by things and that they'll do nice things just for the sake of it, but it's not true. For the overwhelming majority of us, that's not how it works. That's just not how human beings think. You need an appropriate incentive to do things correctly. And for most of us, I'm not dogging people, for most of us, myself included, I think, we need an extrinsic motivation, which is something external. Being nice for the sake of being nice, that doesn't work for most people, in a sustained business type setting. There needs to be a financial incentive. And in government, there is none. You can be terrible at your job, and the state employee union will protect you. Or you can be amazing at your job and make the same money that the crappy person makes. It's just how it works. So, if you were ever wondering, that's why the customer service in a government building is always terrible. I don't know why you would wonder that, but if you were, there you go. And hopefully you can take something out of this and apply it to your business. I don't know. Well, this is Randy with Dulin Cut Trim. Eventually, I will get my fertilization license. Have a good one.